This is Weather Center Live. Thanks for joining us today. I'm meteorologist Chris Warren.
And I'm meteorologist Julie Martin. You know, it is the first full week of May, bringing some spring storms and something we just didn't expect to see quite this soon.
A mystery brewing in the Atlantic.
The severe weather threat. So let's get you out there and talk about our torque hunt for Kansas City. It's a 3 today. We could see damaging winds, hail, and certainly very gusty conditions, producing lots of lightning. Here's our thunderstorm forecast for today. We're looking at western Texas all the way up through Kansas, stretching all the way through Missouri, northern Missouri, Iowa, even Chicago over toward Cleveland. That's where we could see, again, the possibility of some isolated tornadoes, hail and damaging winds throughout the day today. We have a setup that is actually going to be in place for most of the week, unfortunately. 3 is your torque hunt for southeast Nebraska, eastern New Mexico, and western Texas, a torque hunt of 3 as well. So about a 30% chance of a tornado within a 50-mile radius. That's what we're dealing with today in terms of the severe weather, but I know there's a lot more to come behind this as well. Here's why we have this stalling front. So we have warm, moist air coming up, excuse me, from the south. This cold front has already pushed through, but what's left of it here, the tail end of it, all just going to sit there across middle America for most of the week. We could see storms firing up pretty much any day of the week along this boundary. We also have an upper level jet. Our jet has retreated extremely far north, so we're going to get a little energy coming out of that as well. It could help to trigger those storms. We're also looking at the possibility of some flooding in places like New Mexico and western Texas. So we'll keep an eye on that for you, Chris.
All right, this is Weather Center Live, and heads up on the East Coast, an area to watch for the possibility of some tropical development.
Pretty early for that, isn't it? But yes, we do have the possibility. What we have here is some disturbed weather right now. It is just over Cuba, kind of south of the Bahamas, but by about midweek, right along the Bahamas, maybe a little bit north, it starts to get a bit more organized.
And we do have a big question mark here, because whatever does develop, the question is, where's it going to go? How long is it going to linger there? Because this could be a situation where there's a low pressure that hangs off the southeast coast for some days.
Right, and so we're talking about obviously some impacts to the Florida coast up through the Carolinas, possibly some rough surf and, you know, heavy rain, that kind of tropical stuff we don't usually see so much in May.
You did mention that it's early, about a month ahead of the official start to the Atlantic hurricane season, but it has happened in the past. And Alberto in 2012, you can see the track of it right there, and then Beryl as well in 2012.
All right, so we're going to keep you up to date on that. Regardless, there will be the threat for rip currents.
That's right, along with some high surf possible, we know, across Florida, the eastern beaches as early as today, from Stewart all the way up to Daytona Beach.
That's right. Anyone going for a swim is urged to do so only where there are lifeguards. Nick Walker has what to do if you get caught in one. And you know, Chris, about 150 people die each year in rip currents, so this is nothing to mess around with. We want to explain to you how they work. Nick was saying how you get out of them, but basically you have the waves. They're coming over the sandbar. That's that inbound current coming into shore, and it's often very hard to detect this.
And then it's that water going away from shore. You see that current going out, and oftentimes you can spot them because there's a little break in the waves themselves. It kind of has a little muddled look to it. They're not the classic. Yeah, it's not that classic wave look.
Exactly.
So there's some disturbed waves with that water going out.
All right, and so you have all of that force, that forcing, and that is going to pull you offshore if you are in the middle of this. So obviously to escape, you're going to want to swim parallel to the shore and not try to swim along with the current itself, because that's just going to pull you out farther. And
that's the thing too, is try to stay calm.
Right.
It's the hardest thing too when you have that feeling of helplessness. Try to stay calm and swim out of the current so you can swim back to shore.
Very easy to panic. So certainly we could see a lot of this over the next several days this week all along the East Coast. So definitely be advised. It's probably best to stay out of the water.
And a little bit of a preview, if you will.
For this here on Weather Center Live, I'm Julie Martin.
And I'm meteorologist Chris Warren. A few things that we are watching. The potential of something developing off the southeast coast, the possibility of something tropical perhaps. Also, some places seeing 70 degrees on the thermometer for the first time since October.
After the Dauphin Island regatta disaster in Alabama, 6 sailors all confirmed dead after a storm with strong winds swept across the race.
Now questions remain if this could have been prevented. Dave Malkoff investigates if there was enough warning to keep sailors